This video will demonstrate solutions to three types of percent problems by using decimal squares for hundredths. It ends with examples of school students using this model to solve percent problems. Percent means parts per hundred, so we will use the hundredths square as a model. For a given percent, such as 37%, students can shade a blank square. Notice that this square represents 37 hundredths. So 37% equals 37 hundredths. And when given a percent, such as 37%, we divide the number 37 by 100 to obtain 37 hundredths. And when dividing by 100, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. Here's another square for 9%. And 9%, we divide 9 by 100 equals 9 hundredths. And once again, to divide by 100, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. That's why we have to include an extra 0. For 100%, all 100 small squares are shaded. And to obtain the decimal for 100%, we divide 100 by 100 and obtain 1. This 100 is the 100 small squares, and to divide by 100, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. We will call this full square the unit square. Let's look at a few more preliminary activities before solving problems. Suppose this unit square represents 400 students in a school. If the 400 students are spread out evenly, one square will represent how many students? 400 divided by 100 equals 4. So each small square has a value of 4. And 1% of the 400 students is 4 students. What is the value of 12 small squares? Let's shade 12 small squares. The 12 squares represent 12 times 4, and that equals 48. So 12% of 400 equals 48 students. So once we know the value of one small square, we can find any percent of the whole. Suppose 24 small squares have a value of 60 pounds. First we shade 24 small squares, and these have a value of 60 pounds. What is the value of one small square? To share 60 pounds equally among 24 squares, we divide 60 divided by 24 equals 2.5 pounds. So one small square has a value of 2 and 5/10 pounds. The value of the whole square is 100 times 2.5, and that equals 250 pounds. We have just solved a percent problem. Suppose we want to know the total weight of an object, represented by the whole square, and we're given that 24% is 60 pounds. First we get the value of one small square and multiply by 100 to get the total weight. A school bake sale raised $1,260, and 28% was used to buy books for the school library. How much money was used to buy books? We'll label the unit square and shade 28 small squares. And we'll use chips to represent 28%. Then we divide 1260 divided by 100 equals $12.60 as the value of each small square. And 28 small squares have a value of 28 times 1260 equal $352.80. And so 28% of 1260 equals $352.80 for new books. In solving percent problems, there are three important quantities: the whole, the percent, and the part. In the school bake problem, we were given $1,260 as the whole and 28%, and we found the part. In the next problem, we'll be given the whole and the part, and we'll find the percent. Mr. Chiat took his dog Nellie and his students on a field trip to the ocean. On the return trip, they stopped at a rest area to teach Nellie to catch the frisbee. If the frisbee was thrown 200 times and Nellie caught it 140 times, what percent of the throws did Nellie catch, and what percent of the throws did Nellie miss? There were 200 throws of the frisbee, and 200 divided by 100 is the value of each small square. At 2 catches per square, how many squares I needed for 140 throws? We obtain this by dividing 140 by 2, so 70 small squares. So 70% were caught, and the remaining 30 squares show that Nellie did not catch the frisbee 30% of the time. This word problem in a blank unit square were given to Mr. Chiat's students. We will now look at 4 of the student squares for solving this problem. This is by Jeremy, and you can see that Jeremy knows that each small square represents 2 throws. He writes the following: 2 times 10 equals 20. I know there's 20 in each row. These are the subtotals. So just count by 20 till you get up to 140. Rachel also knows that each small square has a value of 2. Her explanation is very brief. Whole thing 200, caught 140, each row 20. To answer the question on misses, she writes 30%, because 70 plus 30 equals 100, and you're trying to get 100%. Kelly shows that a small square has a value of 2 and a column has a value of 20. She explains 140 is 60 less than 200, so just count back 60. And she uses 2 types of shading, one for the frisbees that are caught and one for the frisbees that are not caught. Katie got 70% by dividing 140 in 2 steps. She writes, "What I did is divided 100 by 2, which equals 50, so then I divided 40 by 2, which equals 20, so I added 50 plus 20 to get 70%. We have demonstrated how hundredths squares can be used to solve percent problems before introducing formulas, and have shown a variety of solutions by students who used this model.